Yeah, shame-free life.
Hey, peace and shalom and blessings to your family. Hope you're doing well. This is Ronald Zion. If you haven't yet subscribed to the Shame-Free Life channel, click that subscribe button below and you will always remain in the loop of things. Let's get right into it. Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is real. There are many people that are doing it themselves to others. And there are people who are, unfortunately, the victims of emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is this. It is using your compassion, your love, and your care for someone against you to get that other person to do what they want you to do. It's basically an emotional strong-arming technique. It's nothing more or nothing shy of emotional abuse. And it's interesting how a person can manipulate another person by way of using something that is genuine, that's pure as how you feel for someone, and weaponizing it against them in order for you to have leverage to get what you truly want from that person. Manipulation. It kind of reminds me of the scriptures talk about witchcraft. It's based on manipulation, domination, intimidation, and even isolation. Isolating someone, refraining from giving them something because you are expecting something else or something greater. And we see it all the time, even in marriages. There's a lot of emotional blackmail that's going on, holding something over someone's head is emotional blackmail. I'm going to hold this over your head. So this coined phrase of fog, it came from a psychotherapist. Her name is Susan Ford. And she coined the word fog to relate to emotional blackmail. And it's interesting because it's very difficult to see when it's foggy. And that's what emotional blackmail does. It prohibits you from being able to truly see what is taking place or what's being perpetrated against you by someone who's engaged in manipulation by way of emotional abuse. Fog. So the acronym is fear, obligation, and guilt. And when you are in fear, then you become very paranoid. And oftentimes we don't make good decisions when we are in a fight, flight, or freeze mode. And that's what emotional blackmail does. It brings fear to you. Fear grips your heart. Obligation. There are many people that feel that for some reason that you are obligated to do something for them. It may be a parent that feels just because that they are a parent that the child is obligated to do something for them. A relationship should never be based on tit for tat or a laundry list of things. I've done these things for you, so you need to do these things for me. It should be based on LLA, love, loyalty, and accountability. That's what relationships should be founded on. On the flip side of that, there are many children that feel they have some faulty sense of obligation or false sense of obligation as it relates to that they need to receive something from the parent. And if you don't do it for me, then I'm going to kill myself. Now, I'm not speaking against suicide because suicide is real and I really take it seriously. But there are some people that will use emotional abuse through emotional blackmailing tactics to say that if you don't do certain things for me, then I'm going to kill myself. Now that is abusive. That's manipulative. And again, we see it all the time. So this false obligation, a lot of times people see it in relationships. If you do this for me, I'll do that for you. Or if you truly love me, then you would do this. How many people have lost their virginity behind a false sense of obligation? Because if that person truly loved you, then they would never give you an ultimatum. That's rooted in deception and manipulation. And finally, guilt. Have you ever been placed in a guilt bag or somebody trying to guilt trip you into doing something? You should never want to do something because you feel guilty about it. If guilt is associated with it, then you know what's wrong from the beginning. But people who specialize in emotional blackmail will also specialize in trying to guilt you to do something. Again, withholding things from you. Or if you don't do this, then I'm going to put you on blast in social media. I'm going to talk about all the things that you told me in secret. But you trusted this individual with pertinent information about your past, whether it was true or not, but it impacted you and it affected you. And so a person who specializes in emotional blackmail, they will take your secrets, your pillow talk, they will take your confidential conversations, and they would file it in the back of their mind, waiting for an opportunity to now wave it or dangle it before your face. If you don't do something for me, then I'm going to expose you. That's emotional blackmail. So if you're doing it, I invite you to stop it. If you are a victim of it, let's talk about some ways to end emotional blackmail so you can take your power back. Number one, boundaries. Set your boundaries. Boundaries are very important, whether you're on the streets or on the highway, because it provides a means of safety for you to occupy your own lane, and the other person has their own lane. Set firm boundaries with someone who specializes in emotional blackmail, or they have the propensity to get involved in blackmail to try to either use fear, obligation, or guilt as a means of abuse by weaponizing how you truly feel about them and care about them. Set firm boundaries. Number two, have a clear-cut understanding of who you truly are, your identity, of knowing who you are and what you are not. See, people who don't truly have a healthy sense of who they truly are, they will forfeit who they are to become something that they're not. Or they will believe the lie of who they are not to silence someone who may be engaging in some form of emotional blackmail against them. So when you set the firm boundaries, number one, have a clear sense and rooted and grounded in who you truly are as your identity, that will safeguard you from the person or persons that's involved in emotional blackmail. So I hope this has been a blessing to you. If so, then subscribe to the channel, click that subscribe button, and also share this information with someone else. It's time for you to take your power back. And how do you do it? By having a clear understanding that your life begins when you say so. Until next time, peace and blessing to you. Shame-free life.
Yeah, shame-free life, shame-free life, shame-free life. Yeah. Shame-free life, shame-free life, shame-free.